The shadow figure in front of me walked a couple of feet ahead. Something was preventing my legs to move any faster than the speed we were going. Something felt familiar, felt like a vague case of deja vu. There was no sound, the colors were muted. The only thing I could hear was the voice in my head. Why do I recognize this place? I lost the figure ahead of me, but my feet continued to carry me forward. The path led through the woods and up a slight slope that eventually led into the clearing. The clearing held my shadow friend, and he was knelt over something. I knew my feet would carry me to the center, but ice trickled down my body. My brain recognized, but wouldn't let me acknowledge what it was. This game wasn't fun anymore. My mind strained under this spell, feeling suffocated and reeling with fear. Now just a couple steps away, I can see the body, and suddenly, I remember everything. The body had a name, and it was Claire Young. I remember luring her up the hill that evening with promises of a date. However, there was no date. Not with her, anyway. She had reached the top of the hill, bouncing on her toes and spinning around in search of me. It would have been beautiful, but my intentions were clouding the mood. I crept out of the bush where I was hiding. Claire heard the rustle of the leaves and turned to face me. Her red hair and blue eyes could still be seen from the light of the sunset. She beamed that bright smile. I knew how well she had used that on men before me. "Smile again for me, Claire," I whispered, as sweet as possible. She blushed, looking down, but when her face came up, that smile shined. I approached her slowly, extending my hand to hers. When our hands met, our fingers separated and filled in the blanks in between. I pulled her close and held her in her final moments. Quickly and quietly, I pulled the knife from my back pocket. I held it to her throat, and she had enough time to tense up under the cold of the knife before I slid it across her jugular like a hot knife through butter. She clutched the side of her neck, trying to stop the spray of blood from soaking the dirt. Claire dropped to her knees, gurgling as the blood pooled, and finally she fell in a heap. As the blood soaked the ground, I walked around her, working quickly to draw my symbols. Now all I had to do was wait. As the last ray of the sun touched my silent hill, the ground quaked. I closed my eyes, and then I left. I came back next to my shadow friend hovering over the naked body of Claire Young. I careened back, trying to avoid looking upon her. The shadow snarled at my flinching and yanked me back with an invisible push. "I don't want to look," I yelled, shutting my eyes. "You will look." My eyes flew open, and I found myself inches from her face. Her eyes were wide and open, but clouded with death. I could feel my breath, I was so close. I looked at the cut on her neck, seeing straight through her artery, severing everything in between. "What do you want?" I said through gritted teeth. "Your submission," the shadow growled. "Never!" I was then forced to relive killing Claire. In every vivid detail, I saw the blood flow as I attempted to make her my sacrifice. Then, as before, I came next to the shadow. My body trembled with nerves and fear. I never felt guilt for the act, but reliving it twice was more than I had bargained for. My mind flew, trying to make sense of what was going on by all the details I tried to grasp, fluttering out of reach. Everything was fuzzy, no real thought pertaining on how I got here. I felt waves of anger, fear, and dread. "When will you stop?" I pleaded. I tried to sound as sincere as possible. The shadow left and appeared next to my ear. I felt the presence against me, but no physical contact. "You must submit to receive what you have earned," a voice growled in my ear. I whimpered and tried to make myself smaller, but my body would not move. Fear crept into my throat like an icy hand constricting my airway. My vision faded, and then there was blackness. The scene of the murder of Claire Young played for me again, intensifying every tiny detail. This was more than I could take. Seeing her smile extinguished and her blood soaking the clearing. This time I was thrown out from my vision, and my shadow friend had morphed into a tall, cloaked shadow with burning blue eyes. My body stood up and faced the shadow. In a quick movement, the shadow threw off the hood and revealed the face of Claire. She smiled that beautiful, bright smile. "Will you submit?" she pleaded. "Yes, for you," I whispered. As soon as yes left my lips, she began to scream. At first there were no words, then as the volume peaked, she was screaming the words, "Smile for me again, Claire." I covered my ears and tried to drown out the deafening screams, but they cut straight through my soul. "Wake up!" she screamed. My body jerked outwards. "Wake up!" she screamed again. Consciousness was near. My brain slammed into my skull. "Wake up," she whispered. I gasped, air filling my lungs, panting, clutching my chest, and the air around me stood still. No shadows, no blood, and no clearing. I looked around and found myself in bed. My wife, Claire, rousing from sleep. Her hand found mine, and our fingers separating and filling in the blank spaces. "What's wrong, baby? Are you all right?" she murmured. "Yeah, just sleep paralysis again." Hey guys, it's Ember Dawn here, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. The story was actually personally written for you guys from one of my greatest friends, and I'm going to be tagging her in the description. If you guys liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye!